It's been 6 years since Ab-Soul dropped his last album, Do What Thou Wilt. Do What Thou Wilt? Do What Thou Will? Something like that. And I'm not gonna lie, for a minute there, I wasn't even sure if we were gonna get an Ab-Soul album or not. I was starting to wonder, is Ab-Soul is he retired? Like, is he still an active rapper? You know, Ab-Soul has been kind of a mystery. And up until recently, I watched the Charlemagne interview. That's when I kind of realized, like, okay, this is why we haven't heard much from Ab-Soul. He's had a lot of things going on in his life, personal issues, losing loved ones, his close friend Dolberger, battling with depression, a suicide attempt that he spoke on this album, actually. So, you know, we give Ab-Soul a pass. You know, sometimes we go through real things in life and you need to take a break, you know, to get your mind right. And that's the most important thing at the end of the day. I'd rather any artist who I love, or just any artist period, I'd rather them focus on their mind state and being healthy first and foremost, even if that means we have to wait for a new project or whatever, right? All that being said, though, I am excited, and I was excited for a new Ab-Soul fucking album. Let's go. Ab-Soul actually early on was one of my favorite artists in TDE. Like, I thought Ab-Soul was gonna be like the one. Maybe not the one. I always knew Kendrick was the one, but I thought maybe Ab-Soul had the potential to be like up there. Like, Control System was such an amazing album. Go back and listen to Control System if you haven't lately. That's a phenomenal album. Like, lyrical ability, songwriting, topics, relatability, like the emotion in it, everything. I'm like, yo, Controls, like that. TD was just unstoppable those times. Control System was one of the better projects, though. Out of all those great projects they were putting out, Control System was up there to me. So it was kind of weird when after that I was expecting something like that, if not better, because when you look at guys like Kendrick and Schoolboy Q, they were kind of topping the shit that they were doing. Like, they were leveling up. They were going to the next level. They weren't declining. It was like Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City. You get what I'm saying? Like, and the same thing for Schoolboy Q. It was Habits and Contradictions, I believe the album was. And then it was, Oxymoron after that? Like, there was a level up, consistent level up. And for Ab-Soul, it kind of went from Control System to These Days, which wasn't really a good album, in my opinion. It just didn't even seem like Ab-Soul. Like, it seemed like a watered down, like, commercial Ab-Soul. Like, you know what I mean? It didn't sound as inspired as Control System, which is fine. You know, you can't expect artists to be amazing every year, drop a classic every year. That's not really possible. So I give passes sometimes. Like, I'm not one of those people who thinks, you know, as a creator myself, I know what it is. Like, everything you put out is not gonna be fucking amazing. That's just not how it goes. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's why it's important to take your time. That's why people like Kendrick Lamar, Frank Ocean, these type of creatives, they take their time. I guarantee they're dropping an album every year. It might not be Pimp a Butterfly every year. It's not going to be. Those things take time. You gotta let it marinate. You gotta live life, especially. And I just think that maybe Ab-Soul hit kind of like a sophomore slump with These Days. Then I think maybe 2-3 years in between, he put out Do What Thou Will, and it was better than These Days. It was better, but it still wasn't that Ab-Soul that I like personally. Like, it wasn't Control System level. It just wasn't. Like, I felt like with that album, Do What Thou Will, he was almost trying to be too complex. Like, just trying to be like the lyrical miracle guy. Like, I have the best lyrics, no one can fuck with me, and just too deep. It's a similar problem with Lupe's career, aside from the label stuff, because sometimes I feel like Lupe would be too complex. Sometimes it's like, I don't even know what you're talking about, bro. Like, and that's coming from someone who loves to, like, I like to go look at the lyrics. I like to do research and what does this mean? Da da da. But sometimes it's too much. Like, I'm not trying to have I'm not trying to take a college course to understand your album. Like, you know, there has to be a balance. Like, there has to be a certain level of enjoyability as well. Like, replay value. You know what I mean? Like, for me, the best albums are the ones that it can be background music or it can be upfront music. I can enjoy it while I'm at the gym, while I'm playing 2K, but I can also enjoy it like while I'm completely focused. You know what I'm saying? Like while I'm taking a jog and this is the only thing I'm thinking about. Like it's the combination. And I think that's what TDE has actually done a great job at, is they make accessible music, but it has depth, it has meaning, it has theme. And I think out of the group, out of the black hippie movement, Ab-Soul was the one. After Control System, he kind of struggled with that a little bit. With These Days, I felt like he was trying too hard to be commercial, and then with Do What Thou Will, it was like, this is just too complex and it's just hard to really just sit down and enjoy. It's not even like Ab-Soul is not capable of making great music. He is. He's done it. He's made great music already. The Long-Term Mentality projects, Control System, he's had that ability. It wasn't a situation where he just wasn't that nice. He's not that guy. He is a good songwriter. He is a good rapper. It's just sometimes I feel like pressure and these different things can sometimes get in the way of an artist just being an artist. Regardless of all that, Ab-Soul was back. This year he started putting out music. I don't remember if Hollandaise was this year or last year, maybe late last year, but Hollandaise, I was like, okay, Ab-Soul, okay, this is fire, this is dope. It still wasn't like, okay, Ab-Soul is back. It was just like, okay, this is a dope record from Ab-Soul. Then I heard Moonshooter. Moonshooter was like, yo, oh shit. Okay, yeah. Ab-Soul, he's cooking up something. Like, that's the type of shit I like from Ab-Soul. Like, it's deep, it's lyrical, but it's still catchy, it's still enjoyable, it's still accessible. You could bump it anytime. Like, Moonshooter is like, that's just a dope record. I was like, okay, it's 2 for 2 now. Then he dropped the video for Do Better, which is, if you haven't seen it, go check that out immediately. Like, it's an incredible video. It's powerful, heartfelt. That's when I was like, okay, shit, Ab-Soul is fucking back, yo. Like, that song, like, literally I shed like a couple tears listening to that record. Like, it just hit home for me. It was just powerful. It was like a perfect song, and the video was striking. The video was impressive. Now I'm excited for this album. He drops Gangnam, fire record, banger. That's when I knew, okay, Ab-Soul's not playing, yo. Ab-Soul's coming with something for real. Like, Do Better, Gangnam, Moonshooter, Hollandaise, like, something is coming. Something is crazy is coming. That's 4 for 4 now. All fire, impactful records. Something is coming. I was hyped for this album. Like, to be honest, I was more hyped for this album than I was for the SZA album, and I'm a huge SZA fan. I might do a video about SZA's album as well, but for now I wanted to get into this Ab-Soul one just because that's literally all I've been bumping for the last 2-3 days. The reason why I love this album is because it's literally everything you want from an album, especially an Ab-Soul album. You're gonna get witty punchlines, you're gonna get wordplay, you're getting lyrics, you're getting really energetic flows, like all the things I loved about Control System and Long-Term Mentality. That's here. All of that is here. But the biggest difference, I think, from this album and the last 2 albums is it's not too complex. It's just like, it's straightforward. This album is about the person, Herbert, the man. That's his name, Herbert. It's not about Ab-Soul. It's not about a character. It's not about being a performer. It's about being a human. And that's one reason why it just hits. It's not like, you don't have to be a rapper to get into this album to feel it. This is a human album. It's a beautiful human album. It's touching. He's talking about his actual life, his experiences. It's something anybody can relate to, and it's done in an accessible way. It's I think honestly this album might have the best beats. I think this album has the best beats of this year. I gotta go back and go through everything because a lot came out this year, but like literally almost every beat is just like amazing on this album. He's got amazing production on here. He's got DJ Dahi's on here. He's got Soundwave on here. Beach House is on here. Boy Wonder's on here. Tay Bass is on here. James Blake is on here. Just an all-star cast of producers, in-house and some outside people as well. And like, it just it knocks. They're good ass beats with dope ass rhymes. Like, it's that simple. The cherry on top though is that he's writing the songs in a way, like, there's still depth, there's feeling, there's meaning in it, in the records, but it's done in a way that's like easy listening and accessible. There's catchy hooks on there, like Fuck Out My Face, like FOMF, like, it's a catchy ass hook, hard hitting beat. I think Boy Wonder produced it. It's a banger. Or even Bucket. Like, it's catchy hooks. Even like Wild Side with Janae Eiko is like melodic, and it's easy listening. You know what I mean? And it's like, I've been bumping it everywhere. I bumped it at the gym, I bump it in my car, I bump it at the crib, like whatever, I'm just bumping it. It's one of those albums, and it's like, it's definitely one of my favorite albums of the year. And this has been a crazy year for music. A lot of dope music has come out this year, so that's saying a lot. Like, I put it up there, one of the best for sure. The beginning of this album, the intro was phenomenal. Message in a Bottle with Lance Skywalker, an amazing track, amazing opening track. He's going in that first verse, talking about life, what's going on, why he's been missing, why the hiatus. It starts off with a beautiful poem from his grandmother, basically talking about like what's more important, like making it, the pursuit of making it, or yourself, keeping yourself intact, keeping your mind intact. I love how halfway through the record, you hear, I think it's like Punch or Top Dog or somebody saying like, yeah, you know, that's cool. Like, basically the beginning of the intro, like, yeah, that's cool, you're going in, but like, you've been gone for 6 years. Then the beat changes, and then he starts going in again, and it's like, oh shit. It just sets the tone for everything. Like, this is not just I'm throwing this album out because I have to. This is redemption. This is a redemption album for Ab-Soul, proving that he's one of the nicest in the game. And he did that shit. He fucking did that shit. Like, the first 5-6 records, all elite level shit. I love how on the songs that already have been out, like Hollandaise and Moonshooter, he added shit to it to make it more interesting for your first listen. You know, I've been playing Moonshooter for days now, but on the album version now you get Joey Badass verse on it. On Hollandaise, he added a switch up. The beat switches up, and he starts blacking out on like this soulful sample. Like, it's crazy. Like, everything about this album is hard. There's maybe a couple songs I don't like. Like, I'll say the songs that really weren't hitting like that for me, probably Go Off. I didn't like Go Off that much. It's not like a terrible song. It's just like, I didn't really need it. You know what I mean? Like, I already had my bangers on the album. I didn't really need Go Off. Go Off, I say Fallacy. I say like Fallacy and Go Off. That's where it was kind of like, I don't really, you know what I mean? I don't really need these records on here, but they're not bad songs either way. But other than that, there's 18 tracks on the album. So what is that? 16 out of 18 are impressive, amazing records. I say my favorite tracks on there would be Do Better, Moonshooter, Gang in Them, FOMF, It Be Like That, and Bucket. Those are probably my favorites right now. That could change. Do Better, yeah. Those are my favorites right now, but again, it's a new album. It's only been out a couple days. That could change. No Report Card is amazing. Like, the whole album, just aside from those 2 songs I mentioned, for me, is just, this is an incredible album, man. I'm excited. It's like, for me, not very often is there albums that it's just like, I can't wait to play them. Like, I'm excited to do whatever I'm doing and play this album. Like, you know, there's a lot of good music that comes out, but like, exciting music is not that often, to be honest with you, not that often. And TDE is one of those labels that delivers. And you know, after Kendrick leaving, it's like, okay, where do they go from here? But I feel like they've had a pretty fucking good year. Like, they've had a pretty fucking good year. They've done their thing. They've shown that they're still a dope label without Kendrick. You know what I mean? And I'm really happy for Ab-Soul, man. Ab-Soul's back. Ab-Soul's fucking back, for real. And I hope he doesn't stop. I hope he keeps going. I hope he has another album in the tuck. I hope he goes on tour. I'm trying to see that shit. Yeah, man, I'm excited for him. Like, this guy put DJ Premier at the end, bro. Like, you crazy? And DJ Premier went crazy on that. Like, Primo's one of the reasons I make beats. Like, literally one of the reasons I make beats. Like, the way he was flipping the sample, like, different chops, different breakdowns. Like, he killed that shit. And Ab-Soul did what he does. He just rapped his ass off. And that's the thing. He didn't need to overthink shit. He just had to feel. And that's the difference between this album and the last two, is it's feeling. This album, there's feels in this album. He's talking about his life. And overall, it's just, after all the mental health issues, the loved ones he lost, the self-doubt, you know, he's overcame all that, and he's triumphed in his return. And I hope he's proud of himself, because he delivered a great project. Like, he really did. And Ab-Soul is important for hip-hop. He's not just another guy. He's important. And, you know, sky's the limit. I hope he keeps going. I hope he drops more projects. You know, even if we gotta wait another 2 years, as long as he just keeps going, man. Because there's nothing like, there's nobody out there like Ab-Soul. Ab-Soul is different. It's a different, his voice has a different tone. Like, his flows, like his pockets that he gets into. Like, Ab-Soul is dope. And we need more of that. We need more artists with a different approach. And that's why we need Ab-Soul to keep going. So shout out to Ab-Soul. Great album. Herbert, go listen to that shit. If you haven't, go bump that shit immediately. The fuck you doing, bro?